Are you ready to judge some buttholes? Yay. Hey Spuds, it's Jamie, welcome back to another video. First video on the channel, I don't know, but welcome either way, and I'm very glad to have you here today because today we are looking at more Am I the Buttholes? Keeping it PG for the first minute of this video. Oh yes, we're going through the subreddit of Am I the A-hole? Specifically LGBTQ plus themed on this channel. If you're interested in more like general Am I the A-hole content, I can highly recommend my wife Shaba. I've left a link to her channel down in the description box, but if you like this kind of content, she makes a video every week about it, and they're very, very good, and I'm not biased at all. No, they are very good. But today we're looking at some LGBTQ plus themed Am I the A-hole posts, and we're gonna read them together, have a little think about who is the butthole in the situation, if anybody's the butthole. Sometimes
everyone's the butthole.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's just crack on. Woo! Am I the asshole? It is time to say asshole now, I think. For telling my 7-year-old cousin that I'm gay at the Christmas party. I mean, automatically I'm like, swap gay for straight, and obviously not, because like we live in such a heteronormative society. The assumption is that you're straight. Nobody would give a shit if you told a 7-year-old you're straight, but suddenly if you're gay, oh no, problem, when there shouldn't be. There is no issue. Being 7 is not too young to learn that there are LGBTQ plus people. Let's read on before we make a final judgment, okay? 19M and super gay. I've been out publicly for 4 years now, but to be honest, it wasn't hard for anyone to tell before that. My family has all been chill about it, and I never had any issues dealing with homophobia. Wonderful, we love to hear it. Nobody should ever have any issues dealing with homophobia. Unfortunately, a lot of people do, so it's great to hear when people just have very like chilled out families and a good time with it. Almost no issues. Almost. My mum's brother and his wife give me the that's nice, very nice. Yes, nice.
But we secretly hate it.
While trying so hard to force a smile whenever it's brought up. It's not so much my uncle as it is my aunt. She's super Catholic and super Irish. That's about all the details I'll give here. Okay, fair. Would not inherently make you uncomfortable, but I'm guessing that those are the reasons she's giving, or those are the reasons that have fed into her having these kind of opinions, which is why OP felt it relevant. We do Christmas with my mum's side the weekend before, and I was sitting next to their 7-year-old daughter. My other cousin was there with his girlfriend. He's my age. Little cousin says in her adorable 7-year-old voice to me, "I'm not gonna put on a 7-year-old voice. Why don't you have a girlfriend? A girlfriend like my brother?" And honestly, without really thinking anything of it, I said, I won't ever have a girlfriend. I like boys. I'm gay. Cue the hardcore stare from my aunt while my uncle tried to tell a story to distract her. I don't see anything wrong with that. I know some people will have the opinion of like, it's up to the parents when they would find out about certain things in this world. And yes, I agree with that to an extent, but they're clearly comfortable with the child being around people in relationships, clearly comfortable with the child knowing that their older brother has a girlfriend, and that is something that can happen when you get older, that you might have a partner. So clearly it's just homophobia that is causing them to be uncomfortable, or the aunt in particular to be uncomfortable about the cousin coming out. Because like if he'd said, no, I don't have a girlfriend, but I might in the future, there would be no issue. And if there's no issue with that, then I think it's purely homophobia as to why there's an issue with him saying it's because he's gay. You can't like shelter your children like that. They are going to learn about things in the world, and yes, there are some things that are inappropriate for young children to learn about, but LGBTQ plus people and people being gay is not one of those things. It didn't start a big fight then and there, but today I heard all about how my aunt called my mom and really gave it to her. Oh jeez. I had zero right to tell their daughter what gay was. They're the parents and they will decide when she can know about it, etc. But I think that's not where this is coming from. I don't think this is a place of like, oh, we're the parents so we decide when our kid learns about things like being gay. It's more like we don't like gayness and LGBTQ plus people, and so we wanted to control how and when our child finds out about it, so it's in a way that's aligned with our viewpoint of the world. Or if they do just inherently think that 7 is too young, then they shouldn't be allowing her older brother to have his girlfriend openly around her, or talk about the fact that he's straight. Double standards is just being bigoted. After my mum told me all this, I questioned why they need to be secretive about it. I asked if they think it's shameful. Mum assured me no, but they claim as parents it's up to us to teach our children about that. He didn't teach her about it. She asked a question of why don't you have a girlfriend, and he didn't want to lie and shouldn't have had to lie and conceal who he is, so he said I won't have a girlfriend because I'm gay. That's not like teaching her about it or explaining it or going into detail. That's literally answering her question in an honest way. I think it would have been more confusing if he'd been like, oh, you know, I just don't have one right now, and then a few years later or whenever the parents decided that she was old enough for them to finally teach her, then she's like, oh, you're gay, you didn't say you were gay. Why would you encourage your child to be lied to like that? And also, your kid is 7 and at school, she's gonna learn things from other people now. You can't keep clinging on to the idea that your child is gonna learn everything from you or everything in a way from you. The context where I'd understand this is if, say, it wasn't homophobia, but instead, like maybe a single parent household where the parent was gay but hadn't told their child and wanted to come out in their own way, that's different. If you're outing somebody else, then that is up to the individual person to decide. Which, in this case then, actually he had even more right to tell her, because who knows when and how or where the parents would have told her that he was gay. Maybe they wouldn't have, but maybe they would have. I don't know, I'm just waffling because I think it's stupid. You cannot expect your child to not learn things from other people, especially not when they're asking questions that literally would directly lead to, unknowingly on the child's part, but still lead to them finding something out, unless somebody lied, which I wouldn't ever want to encourage. My uncle has since called me basically begging for his sake to call my aunt and apologise, and to, get this, try to walk back the comment next time I see her. Wait, as in like go back in the closet to your cousin? Wow. For his sake, so he's getting an earful at home. Oh, she just sounds like an atrocious woman. He's giving me the, you know how she is, just apologise so she can stop annoying me about it. Go back on who you are, apologise for something you shouldn't need to apologise for because my wife is annoying me. No, that's your problem, uncle. You deal with that. That's your own family, that's your own marriage. Go deal. Your nephew was not wrong to come out to his cousin. So, Reddit, am I the arsehole for doing this? Also, apologising, that's not happening, lol. No, I don't think it should happen, and no, I don't think you're the arsehole. You literally asked a question, you answered the question. Being gay is no more or less inappropriate for a 7-year-old to learn about than being straight. They were clearly comfortable with her knowing that her brother has a girlfriend and can therefore be presumably at least partially attracted to women, so like bisexual or whatever, but on the assumption that he's straight, right, because he has a girlfriend and we've not heard anything otherwise. They're comfortable with her knowing that. What is the reason for them being uncomfortable about knowing that another family member is gay? It's that they're uncomfortable with the fact that he's gay. He's not the arsehole. Woo! Am I the arsehole for not wanting my girlfriend to go to gay pride? I think it's not really somebody's, but we'll read on. I would like to give a little opinion on the title and the question. Kind of, if like you're literally just going there saying like, I don't want you to go somewhere, you're not allowed to do this, because that's like controlling and people are autonomous even when in relationships and they're allowed to go and do things. Also, it's not gay pride, it's LGBTQ plus pride. Like, it's not pride just for gay people, it's for bi people, it's for pan people, it's for trans people, it's for asexual people. Like, pride is there for anybody under the LGBTQ plus umbrella. About an hour ago, I had a full-blown argument with my girlfriend regarding Pride and other LGBT community events. Okay, so they're recognizing that it's not just gay, LGBT community events. They jumped on Reddit very quickly, about an hour ago. Oh, I'm already writing on Reddit to get an opinion on this. I guess I should start by saying I am by no means homophobic. That always like gives me a little bit of the ick, because I'm like, if you feel like you have to say it like that and just...
I'm by no means homophobic.
Like, just share your opinion and let other people share theirs without being like, I am not this is not where it's coming from. But we'll read on because maybe this has a very legitimate course of action. I appreciate everyone's right to be who they are unapologetically. When I first met my girlfriend, she just got out of a 5-year relationship with a female. She identified as gay, but when she met me, in her words, I've always been open-minded, and if I fancy a girl, I fancy a girl. If I fancy a guy, I fancy a guy. It just so happens I've never fancied a guy before you. Okay, so OP is a guy. Getting the vibe is there maybe some insecurity going on because he's in a relationship with a woman who had only been with other women before and thought she was gay before she met him, which is absolutely fine and should not lead to insecurity because it doesn't make people more likely to cheat or be not interested in you at some point. It's nothing like that, but I'm wondering if maybe that's where it's coming from. We've been together 3 years now and love together. Live together or love each other? It's a serious relationship, or serious from the sound of it. Generally, we're really happy and I feel blessed to be with such an easygoing and kind-hearted girl. Sweet. Why does describing and liking the fact that someone is easygoing feel a bit to me? I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Every year she goes to gay pride with her friends, most of which are gay and a few are straight. This year she wants to go again. The thing is, I have an issue with this because she's in a hetero relationship. Oh, she's not dating women, and when she goes to Pride, I see it as erasing our relationship and acting as if she is still gay. Insecurity. This is coming from insecurity. It's not gay pride, it's LGBTQ plus pride. Your girlfriend is not straight. Therefore, her going to Pride does not erase your relationship at all. And even if she were straight and wanted to go to be an ally, that's totally fine as well. She's not going there to be like, hello, I'm gay, and forget the fact I have a boyfriend. She's going there because she is still LGBTQ+, even though she is in currently what you could call a hetero relationship. I am bisexual in a relationship with a woman. That doesn't mean I can't go to Pride as a bisexual man. Just the fact of who I'm in a relationship with doesn't erase my sexual orientation. She had a breakdown. I would be very upset if I was told this. Like, if Sharpa, I could not imagine Sharpa turning around at me like, no, you are with me, I'm a woman, you are a man, hetero relationship, you cannot go to Pride because it erases us. I could not imagine her saying that. I would be very upset if a partner told me that. She had a breakdown when I mentioned it, which is completely out of character, making me more uncomfortable about the easygoing thing. She said that when she was with a girl, she was outcast by the straight community, and now she's in a hetero relationship, she's not fully accepted in the LGBT community. She says it's one time a year where she can express her pride in being part of a community that has been through so much. I totally get that. It's like, if your orientation is like bisexual or pansexual, it's like you're too straight for LGBTQ plus community, but you're too gay to be accepted fully by straight people. It's kind of like this in between, and I just wish there was more openness on both sides. I don't know if the girlfriend here is bisexual, but like, bisexual is just a good example of it. Being bi does not mean that you're part straight, part gay. It means that you're bi. Once people get that, it can change the way they view bisexuality and bisexual people, including in terms like this. I think if this guy understood that his girlfriend is not gay or straight depending on the relationships she's with, but she has this sexual orientation that remains the same regardless of who she's with, because it sounds like she's bi or pan or something, that might help him understand a bit better. But I can't understand her need to be there when at present she's not part of the community. Oh my god, I can see why she got really hurt if he said that to her. If anybody told me, I mean, I'm trans as well, but say I wasn't trans, I was a bisexual cis man, if somebody told me you're not part of the LGBTQ plus community because you're currently with a woman, biggest pile of bullshit, that would be hurtful, because, you know, I still get shit for my sexual orientation regardless of the relationship I'm in. She's not part of the community at present because she's in a straight relationship. She's very passionate about the cause and says that she will always support Pride and still feels a part of the LGBT community. Obviously, because she is. She says she isn't straight just because she's with a guy, that she is still bi. Okay, so she is bi, and therefore wants to continue to support other people who are in the LGBT community. Yeah, I think really what would help this guy understand better, it makes me really uncomfortable, but I honestly just feel like he perhaps does not understand the connection between the relationship you're in and your sexual orientation. If you've always identified as straight as a guy and have only ever been in relationships with a woman, if you were then in a relationship with a man and continue to identify as straight, I could see why there would be some tensions over that, because you're in a relationship with a man that is not straight. But she is bisexual, has been in a relationship with women, is now in a relationship with a man, is not denying the fact that she is attracted to both, and being bisexual does not mean that sometimes you're straight and sometimes you're gay depending on the relationship you're in. I feel like perhaps understanding that distinction might help, but then I don't know. I don't know, this is just not nice. I would be very hurt if my partner was saying these things to me. I told her I didn't like her going to Pride, as if she's gay, being around gay females who will assume she's gay when she comes home to a straight relationship. I'm not sure what that means. I told her you can't expect the privileges of a straight relationship, but also the LGBT community at the same time. She did not take this well. Right, she didn't take that well. As a bisexual person, I recognise the privilege of currently being, I have no plans on not being with my wife, but like obviously currently being in a like hetero relationship, right, where we do not automatically get labelled and judged as an LGBT plus couple, but both of us within the relationship are LGBT plus in some way. I find that such a jarring comment. It's almost as if he's like, oh well, you're enjoying straight privilege right now, so he's saying you can't enjoy the privilege of the LGBT community at the same time. I don't know what privilege is still there, and like she will still face discrimination of being a bisexual woman despite the relationship she's in, and will still want to be able to express that and celebrate her identity and who she is and be around LGBT plus people and part of that community. It's a big thing for many people. It's very important, and that was a very shitty comment. Wow. She told me that she couldn't see a future with me, I wouldn't be able to, if I'm forever going to erase her sexuality. No, not you are erasing her sexuality, because you're saying because she's with a man right now, that means she's straight and she cannot celebrate Pride and she cannot celebrate her LGBT plus identity because you don't see her as having one. And make her be straight to protect my insecurities. I feel like she's hit the nail on the head. She also says that she is still attracted to females and therefore is still bi, but in my opinion, she isn't gay until she's in a gay relationship. I am getting irate about some of the things he's saying, but like overall, I feel like this guy just does not understand bisexuality. For him, it's just like gay, straight, even though clearly he's like writing bi, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, you are wrong, but imagine being in a female-female relationship, but your girlfriend going to straight bars and straight pride events. Straight bars are just bars, so yes, lesbians do go to bars, bisexual women do go to bars that are not specifically for LGBTQ plus people, and straight pride events don't exist because they're not needed, and any that have happened have actually been more on the line of hate rallies rather than straight pride events, because they're just hate rallies, they're not straight pride events because you don't have straight pride. That's not the comparison you think it is. It's the same thing. No. No, it's not the same thing. No. I feel as if she's saying our relationship isn't enough, that she still wants to explore the other side of her sexuality despite her saying she would never look elsewhere whilst with me. Oh, there's just like everything he's saying is wrong. Every single thing, everything is wrong. Her going to pride events is not her exploring her sexuality. It's her embracing, celebrating, feeling pride in her identity and fighting for rights and standing up for rights as an LGBT plus person. It doesn't diminish the relationship she's in. It doesn't diminish you as her partner. She's still allowed to acknowledge and do things and be part of a community related to her sexual orientation and identity that are not around sleeping with other people, because that's what it seems to be, is like explore the other side of her sexuality. I think he's also not realizing that sexual orientation isn't just about sex and relationship. It's your identity, it's your attractions, it's who you are. You can be in a very committed relationship, be monogamous, have no intention or desire to be with anybody else, but still want to acknowledge your identity. It's different. She stormed out and hasn't been home since an hour ago. I'm wondering if I'm the arsehole for feeling like this. I support gay pride, but find it hurtful that my girlfriend wants to access such communities. I think you feel insecure that your girlfriend wants to go to LGBTQ plus pride. You're not understanding that there is a difference between LGBTQ plus pride and it's not gay pride, and that bisexuality is a thing that exists, and you are bisexual regardless of the relationship you're in. Edit. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I'm Arabic. It was hard coming to terms with her being bi, and this is just another concern. I see most people, it's no issue, but to me it's disrespectful of a partner to entertain others, especially if the others are same sex. I go back to the beginning where he said, I'm by no means homophobic. In the language used and some of the things said, there's definitely like discomfort around LGBTQ plus people running through this in some way. I think often what we see is a lot of people are very much like, I am totally fine with it until it's on my doorstep. I will accept my neighbours Judith and Hillary being lesbians. I will not discriminate against them. I will not say a bad word. I have no issues with it. But if it comes into my house, my family, or my inner circle, that's when I have a problem. Like, I see it quite a lot. I've experienced it myself from people. I'm not like that. And it's interesting because like there's different levels. Some people are purely just like homophobic and bigoted towards anybody of the identity. And some people, it's like they're fine until it becomes part of their life. So either through a child, a parent, a partner, a close friend, an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a cousin, whoever, they're fine with it until it's that close. And then it's suddenly, this is a little bit too now in my life and my everyday that I'm not comfortable. And that is still homophobia. It's just a less intense version. And you don't have to be like outright raging and discriminating every single day against people to have like homophobic beliefs and tendencies. If people we know see her there, I will be seen a fool. This definitely feels like a pride thing and an insecurity thing. My girlfriend at a pride event covered in rainbows with a load of gay girls. She's embarrassing me and has no care for this. That's what makes me uncomfortable. It was called from the beginning, right? It's insecurity. It's him feeling like her going to pride somehow diminishes him and him in their relationship and is embarrassment to him, and other people will judge him because of his girlfriend. He's just at the end of the day not comfortable with dating someone who's LGBT plus. Yes, that's like, he said some arseholey things. He said some things that are very hurtful. I'd have stormed out and not wanted to speak to him for a while. If he'd said that to me, definitely sounds like there's a lot of unlearning to do if that relationship's gonna survive, to be honest. Am I the arsehole for telling a straight guy that his opinions on LGBT-related topics don't matter? No. I feel like this is going to be like a mansplaining, but straight-splaining. Is that a thing? Sorry for any mistakes, English isn't my first language. I recently started working at an LGBT youth centre. Aside from organising a lot of fun events, we also try to educate people about different things, sexuality, STDs, queer history, etc. Sounds great, love it. And take care of various kids who have trouble at home because their parents don't accept their sexualities. I love things like this. I think they're fantastic and they're crucial people and they help people so much. It's honestly a wonderful organization and I just love working there. The other day I met up with some friends. I talked about how much I love my new job and they all agreed that it sounds great. There was one guy, however, he's a friend of a friend, not sure why he even brought him along, who didn't really understand the point of the organization. Oh, okay. How can you not understand the point of an organization? We're there to support LGBT youth who don't get that support at home. I don't know how you can misunderstand that. And also educate people around various different things about LGBTQ plus identities. Very self-explanatory. He said it's not right to segregate children from each other because of their sexuality, and there's no need to send them to different youth centres since every centre can essentially do what we do too. This is very all lives matter energy. I don't think it's coming from the angle of we shouldn't feel like we need to separate LGBT plus kids from others because every kid is normal and there's nothing wrong with any sexuality. It very much feels like, why are you treating LGBT plus kids like they're special? Like they don't deserve this extra resource, this extra time. They can just go to the same youth centres as every other youth and get that same kind of help. And it's like, no, we do need specific spaces for LGBT plus kids because there's still such high amounts of homophobia and discrimination that having safe spaces and inclusive spaces and spaces where kids don't feel like they're gonna receive homophobia and transphobia is really important, and not recognizing that is failing to recognize the discrimination still faced by LGBTQ plus people and how difficult that can be for young people in particular, especially when they lack that support network from home. I tried explaining to him that not all youth centers do what we do. Exactly, going to like a generic youth center, although great and also very helpful within communities and can do wonderful things for local youth, won't necessarily be equipped to specifically help LGBTQ plus youth in ways they need to be helped. And that it's important for young LGBT kids to have safe spaces, but he disagreed. At some point, I really didn't feel like arguing or justifying their importance to a random dude anymore, so I just said, and what makes you think a straight guy's opinion on this subject matters? You tried explaining it to him, he didn't get it. He's this straight dude sitting there trying to explain to you why LGBT plus youth do not need LGBT plus specific centres and support, and he's just not getting it when you're explaining it. What right does he have to sit there and say that he doesn't think it's right? He hasn't experienced it. He doesn't know what it's like. He hasn't worked at these youth centres, I'm assuming. So absolutely, I would have been like, dude, don't know what you're talking about, just shut up. He got super offended, telling me he can comment on whatever he wants to, despite being straight. And if the roles were reversed, I'd call him homophobic. I think if you were trying to talk about straight is the majority and is the accepted and is the norm and is the expectation and the assumption. Everybody has the assumption that you're like cishet. Like there's not discrimination for being cisgender and straight. I don't really see how the roles could be reversed in this context. I don't even know how to turn that because there aren't like straight youth centres specifically because there doesn't need to be, because the assumption is that every youth centre is straight. Just like in the previous one, it was like straight bars. It's like we don't have things specifically labelled straight bars because all bars are straight unless specifically labelled gay bars because those are the safe spaces or LGBTQ plus bars. But like the point is he can comment on whatever he wants to despite being straight, but the person he's talking to can also comment back that he's stepping out of his lane and he's overstepping and he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he can get called out for the comments that he is allowed to make and someone is allowed to call him out for it. He just faced consequences for not understanding things. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now I'm wondering if my reaction was a bit extreme. I don't think so. It's so exhausting having to deal with people like this. For the record, I don't actually believe someone shouldn't be allowed to state their opinion because of their sexuality, but sometimes it might be better to just listen to people from marginalised groups and not add your own 2 cents, especially when you have no idea what you're talking about. I think that's a really great way of summing it up. Like anybody can have an opinion on anything, right? Like you can share your opinion, but if you are talking about a marginalized community and you are not part of that community, your opinion very much could be wrong or hurtful, or people who are from that community may speak to you and explain what is wrong about your opinion or what is hurtful about your opinion and try to educate you on their community, and it's up to you to listen or carry on being ignorant to it. And I feel like OP tried off trying to be like, okay, well this is where you're going a little bit wrong because you're not part of this community and this is me trying to educate you on why this thing is important. And the dude was just like, no, I'm not listening, I don't believe you, blah blah blah, my opinion, great, wonderful, good, never wrong. And then when he just refused to listen and take on board that education, that's when OP shut it down and was like, look, I'm not going to talk to you about this anymore. You're a straight dude trying to impose your opinion on LGBT plus people, of which you are not, so just stop. And I think that's perfectly fair to do. You're not there to have in-depth conversations about everything and anything LGBT plus related with people who are refusing to listen and learn. So no, I don't think you're the arsehole, and I don't think that was too harsh. What are your opinions? Share them down below. Okay, final Am I the Arsehole post for today. Sorry if my voice sounds funny sometimes and I'm having to repeat a few things. I swear I'm having like stress-related heart palpitations and it like makes me catch my breath in my throat. So if I'm talking and it happens, I'm like, so sorry if that happens and if you've had it. Just feel like I want to mention it. I don't know if it's been noticeable, but just in case, that's a thing that's happening to me right now. I'm stressed. Anyway, final Am I the Arsehole post. Am I the arsehole for not wanting my future child to be from LGBT community? It depends what angle you're coming from. There's the angle of I don't like this, I don't want my child to be this, and there's the angle of I fully accept this but I see the difficulty that people who are LGBT plus face and I would rather my child not face that. I think it's kind of like an odd thing just to come out and say. I don't think it's necessary, but I can see why someone who was aware of the community, accepting of the community, could acknowledge the difficulties faced by the community would be like, I would love my LGBT plus child, but I would rather them not have to face these difficulties. There's a lot of joy in it as well. I can think of a lot of positives in my life that have happened, but there is a lot of shit. But let's read and see what angle this is from. This might sound very bad at first, but let's hear it first. Okay, sure, I respect that. So me and my friend, both 19F, were sitting in my house casually talking about our future. It's quite far, but we were just discussing about our career, marriage and stuff, and eventually the talk came on to children. We went from how many one would like to their genders and all and in between. I said that I want my children to be straight and would like if they are not from LGBT community. It's not something I would volunteer as a conversation or like as a thing. I don't know if I'd maybe get it more if it was a current parent whose child had just come out and they're like, I totally accept my kid. I just would have preferred them not have this thing that can cause some difficulty in their lives happen. I don't want my child to be discriminated against for who they love, so I would have rather them not have to face this. I would have gotten that opinion, but like talking just like very casually and way in the future about like your future kids and just kind of being, yeah, I don't want them to be gay. Let's carry on reading. I'm respecting the hearing it first before doing a full judgment. She went totally mad about how I'm not a good person and all, and I should not say something like that. We both are straight, and for info, she is a sweet person and I've never seen her so angry. But hear me out, I never said that I would not accept my child if she is from LGBT. I will totally love them and I have total respect for them. I even have friends like them, but I have gay friends. I can't be homophobic. She said she'd love them and respect them if they were LGBT, her children. We even went to Pride Parade with each other. Okay, but just how someone wants that they want girls or boys. Okay, so like one thing is specific, yes. I just said that I want straight, and it's not that I'm gonna throw them out if they aren't straight. I discussed this with my other friends and some of them were on my side while others said that I need to apologise. I don't know what to do because she is a great friend and I don't want to lose her, so am I the arsehole? The problem that I'm having so far, there's a couple edits added, so we'll see what she says, but so far, there's no explanation as to why she would want her child to be straight. It's just how some people would rather have a boy than a girl. I would rather have a straight child than an LGBT plus child. And to me, that does come off slightly as viewing having an LGBT plus child as having like an inferior child or it being a negative thing for you. That's it. If people view having an LGBT plus child as a negative for them, and that's why they don't want it, that's where I would judge. If they view it as worrying about it being a negative for their child's life, that's where I'm less judgy, because I'm like, I get it from a point of concern. If you fully accept, love, will not treat your child any differently because they are LGBT plus, but you would just rather they had been cis het, so they, for them, did not face negativity. I get it. But if that was for you to not face negativity, no. Edit. I see that people have mixed opinions, but I want to provide some info before others give their opinions. I live in an Asian country where English is not our first language, therefore some words cannot be correct in my story. For example, I used those people because I couldn't find another word. Okay. Also, someone asked me the reason behind it, and it is that here in my country, okay, here's the reason. In my country, the people from LGBTQ community are not treated good, and people just get married to their opposite gender even if they don't want to for the society. I just fear that my child will not even come out of the closet or not be treated good, which can harm him/her. Right. Their opinion is, I live in a more, I don't know, like closed-minded, less accepting culture, like in country, and I don't want my child to face the difficulties that I have seen other LGBTQ plus people in this country face. I can see where she's coming from with that. There's something still inherently uncomfortable to me about somebody just saying they don't want an LGBT plus kid, even if it's coming from a place of worry for the child. I can't put a finger on where my feelings on that are coming from. I'm not sure why. I'm not on OP's side. I wouldn't call her an arsehole. I can see where she's coming from, and I wouldn't say it's like a homophobic or transphobic reaction because it's coming from a place of concern for the future child, but there's still something that I can't quite unpack that I'm feeling. If you want to leave a comment, if you're understanding my feelings better than I am, I would love to hear. Even if I'm sure that she will get respect and love from me, but not their friends or other family members, which will affect them mentally. So potentially OP also feels like their family wouldn't accept an LGBT plus child. But I will respect your decision, everyone. Edit. Many people were judging me on my wordings, which I said earlier might not be correct, so I'd like to edit the para. Okay, so they'd edited. I thought I didn't read something that said those people. Now that edit. So it's almost 24 hours and I respect all of your decision. For those who said not the arsehole or not arsehole, thank you. Those who said and even direct messaged, are you serious? I shouldn't have children in future. Thanks, but not gonna listen. I feel like that is harsh. She's clearly expressed that it's a concern over the child's future, not her. And to say that she shouldn't have children based on that is not the right thing to say. Those who said you're the arsehole after understanding my opinion, I respect you the most and I will totally try to improve myself. Also at last, I don't think I'm a homophobic, but will totally think about it again. Trying to unpack my thoughts on this one. I feel like this is the most complicated one we've read today. There's just a gut feeling I have where I'm not feeling like super, yeah, no, you're not the arsehole. But I wouldn't say she is an arsehole. It's more kind of, maybe it's like an everyone sucks because the society she's living in and the people she's surrounded by clearly have made her feel like being LGBT plus is very not preferable. And perhaps it is not where she is living. Perhaps there is like, you know, some places are incredibly awful towards LGBTQ plus members of society. And I can see why a parent would not want to see their child face that level of discrimination. I wouldn't say she's an asshole. I just have this little nugget that I'm still like, discomfort has been caused, but I can't put my finger on it because ultimately what she's saying is, I don't want to see my child face discrimination, which is not a bad thing. Anyway, if you know what I'm trying to say, leave your comments down below. Let me think what you thought of all the ones that we talked about today. And if you like me covering these Am I the Arsehole topics, don't forget to go click the link to check out Pud. Also go click out the link to check out Shaba's videos on this topic as well. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.